Welcome back. It can be said that many investors are not that great at managing risk. They buy when they should sell and they sell when they should buy typically. That kind of behavior can be very detrimental in your retirement planning. And my guest to talk about this is Greg Bernhardt. He practices in Walnut Creek, California. So Greg, thanks for talking with us today. Begin by describing how risk tolerances can change as people get closer to retirement.
Well, Scott, I think it's important to recognize that as a person gets older and approaches retirement age, that they should question how much risk they're taking and how much risk they can handle. What I always tell my clients is, if the market dropped 10%, would you be inclined to sell everything? If the answer is no, that's fine, but what if it dropped 20% or 30%? At what point would you get so nervous that you just want to get out? The problem is most people, when they do sell, they tend to get out at the bottom. And so if someone's in that position where they're concerned about risk knocking them out of the market, that's when they should consider reducing their risk, in my opinion, and repositioning assets into assets that have either less risk or no risk.
Greg, how do you typically transition a portfolio from accumulation into retirement?
Well, Scott, that's the tricky part for most people. In fact, most advisors are very good during what we call the accumulation phase, at growing assets, preparing people for retirement. But a lot of advisors are not so good at what we call the decumulation phase, where we're transitioning from growth assets to either growth and income assets or assets that are designed specifically just for income only. And that's when it's important, I think, to talk to a planner who has experience with retirement planning and can help people transition into the income phase of life.
So besides market risk, what other risks should retirees consider?
Well, I think it's important to understand that we have inflation risk. In fact, inflation's starting to pick up now. We haven't had much inflation in the last few years, but now it's starting to rear its ugly head. So what that means is that whatever income looks like it's going to be enough today may not be enough due to higher cost of living in 5 or 10 years. So we've got inflation risk. We also have longevity risk. People are living a lot longer today. So what if someone lives beyond age 90 or even to 95 or 100? The key question is, are they going to have enough assets to last the rest of their life? So we've got what we call longevity risk to consider at retirement as well.
So we all know that corrections can be much worse for retirees. What do you do when somebody needs growth but doesn't want any risk?
Well, fortunately, Scott, there are assets designed to grow money and protect the principal at the same time. And a lot of advisors are not familiar with those assets, but there are advisors that will specialize in assets that not only protect the principal, but will grow the assets and produce income as well.
Greg, thanks for your time today.
You're very welcome. I enjoyed it.
That's Greg Bernhardt in Walnut Creek, California, and thanks for watching Retirement News Online.